Okay, Mata, so I've got a flat tyre on my bike. What do I do to fix it?
Well, the first thing you have to do is to open one side of the tyre, pull one side of the tyre off around the rim, and to get your tube out. To get your tube out, you need to take out the nozzle where you put your air pump onto, the valve. You need to push it through the rim, and you pull it out through the tyre, through one side, the side that you've opened up. And you pull it out, you pull the whole tube out right around, and then you identify where the pinhole is, or where the hole is in your tube. If you can't find it, the best thing to do, if you can't obviously see it, what you need to do is just put your hand pump onto the valve and pump it. When you pump it, as soon as the tube starts to go up, you go and you'll notice straight away where the air is coming out. If you can't see it, just run your hand over the tube and you'll feel it. You'll feel the air coming out of the pinhole. Okay? So when you do that, you know where the pinhole is. You put the tube down where the hole is, on a flat surface, with the pinhole facing up. And generally you have a little kit for tube repairs. And in there it's got a little sandpaper or a little sander. So you rough up the area that's got the pinhole. Rough it up until you're satisfied that it's going to meet your needs. Then you have to have a patch to go over that hole. So you don't want the patch any bigger than you can help it. And it has to fit within the area that you've sanded to buff up around the pinhole. When you've done that, and the pinhole and your tube is ready, you then use the glue, the patch glue, and you squeeze it onto where the hole is and you spread it out. Spread it out on the hole, just like spreading jam, I suppose, on the breads, on the brawa. So you do that, and then you wait while it's going off until it starts to get tacky, and while that's going on, you actually get the patch and you pull the back off the patch. It's like a little plastic film. You pull that off, and what you have is a very clean patch area that goes down onto the glue. So it goes from the glue on the patch to the glue on the tube. You put it down and you push it from the center, and you work it out so that all the air goes out from the center out, and you keep doing that until you're satisfied that the patch has taken and sealed. Make sure you do that, and make sure you do it on a flat surface, and make sure that your patch actually fits within the area that you have sanded over the hole. Once that patch is in place, what you do is then generally the tyre kit will have a powder and stuff like that, so you can just sprinkle a bit of powder over it and smooth it out. So the purpose in doing that is so that when you put the tube back in, it doesn't stick to the tyre. Okay, so there we are. Your tube's there, your patch is in place, you've repaired your puncture, you put your valve on. The first thing you do is get your valve, and you put the valve back inside the tyre rim first. So you push it on from the outside onto the inside, you pull it through, and then you put a valve screw on the outside of that titty that's sticking through the valve to stop it going back in, and then you feed the tube in around the rim. Feed it in, and once the tube's in, you just move the tyre around like this, or move the tyre around until the tube sits in there comfortably. And then you push the tyre back in, and you seal it back up again. So you have both sides of the tyre inside the rim. Then you get your pump. Make sure the valve is back inside the valve itself is back inside the nozzle. You screw that in, and there's a little tool they use there. It's like a little T thing. And sometimes you'll see in bicycles when you see the nozzle sticking out on the end of that, they have a dust cap. And on the end of the dust cap that screws onto there is a little T section, and you just turn it back to front and you use it to screw the valve in. So you screw the valve in until you feel it bite. That's enough. You put your air tube on, your air pump on, you pump it, and you start to pump the tube up. And what happens is your tyre will start to go up again. Generally, when I was a kid, how we knew the tyre was hard enough, we do it by touch. You'd squeeze the tube, you squeeze the tyre on the outside. And when you could tell how hard the tyre was just by the squeeze of the hand. Now you know how heavy you are, so you would squeeze the tyre to make sure the tyre was getting firmer and firmer until it's pretty hard. It's really hard. You hop on if it's too soft, you sit on your bike, you're going to see your tyre go straight down to the rim, aren't you? So you put more air in it. So you make sure the tyre is relatively hard, and basically you unscrew the your air pump, and you put the valve back on the end of the nozzle for your tube, and you're away. Hop on the bike and away you go down to the shop to buy some lollies from the bargain.